Well, this has been cool. We are in Denver, Colorado for the Great American Beer Festival. It's 3 days. It's more than 4,000 beers. It's more than 800 breweries. More than 62,000 beer lovers are going to walk through the door of this massive convention center here in downtown Denver. We knew that this was going to be a big story. We knew that it's the biggest beer festival in America, but we really had no way of knowing the size, the scope of the Great American Beer Festival. I want you to picture the teddy bear that you had when you were a kid and say that that's about the size of all the beer festivals that we've been to in the past. The Great American Beer Festival is the size of this teddy bear. And we can't wait to share it with you on this episode of Brewed. Right, so it's the Great American Beer Festival here in Denver, Colorado, and one of the breweries that was, I mean, are you comfortable with this, Brian? One of the first real craft breweries in Denver is Great Divide?
We were not one of the first. I think we were number 4.
Okay,
but we were on the early part of the wave.
How many breweries are there total in Denver?
And now in Denver, there's over 100.
Right, and by the time
500 in Colorado.
By the time we get done doing this interview, there'll be 3 more.
There could be.
So, is there any extra pressure because this is your hometown event, right? Is there any extra pressure to really make sure you knock it out of the park when you're a Denver brewery and you're...
You know, we've been doing this thing for 24, 25 years, and it's just, we know what to do. It's
right.
Like, make great beer, greet people nicely, have fun. It's all about the beer.
So this is our first year here. Can you kind of give us some idea of what this, when you were here years and years ago, what it used to be like?
It was so much smaller. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, I think there were only about 400 breweries in the U.S. when we opened.
Right.
Now there's over 6,000, I believe. So
Great Divide is known for flavor above all else. Is that right?
Yeah, quality. Quality and
right.
Innovation. Constantly, we're changing beer styles, trying to come out with new things.
Give me an example of some of the innovations that you're especially proud of and what you're kind of highlighting this year at the festival.
We've got a brand, a beer called Yeti Imperial Stout. It's been around since 03, 04.
Right.
But it's a style that we're constantly changing. We're adding new ingredients to it. They're called Yeti varietals or variations. So we've got one that tastes like s'mores now. It's got a little bit of marshmallow character and biscuit character and chocolatey flavor.
You people out here love your camping and your outdoors, right? So is that the idea, like anything you can do to promote being outdoors, s'mores
we
beer?
do like that, but
right?
the other variety that we really like right now is Mexican chocolate Yeti. So it's made with a little bit of chocolate, it's made with cardamom, and it's made with Porcello peppers, so it's got a little heat to it.
Yeti's a beer you guys have been making for a long time,
For a long
right?
time, yeah. It's pretty well known for us.
And you do different styles of it. So when you're, who comes up with the different varieties? Like, whose idea was it for you to say, okay, we'll do s'mores this year?
It used to be me,
right?
But now we have a team of 5 or 6 of us. They kind of brainstorm. What do we need? So the brewers are there, the business guys are there, the sales guys, and the branding guys, we all just decide.
Now we can get your beer back home. How many different states are you in?
We're in about 15 states now.
Only 15?
With the majority of our beer sold here, about 65% of our beer is sold in Colorado.
And that name, Great Divide, that's continental? What is that? What does that refer to?
It was kind of a variation of Continental Divide.
Right on.
Which in Colorado, there's quite a few Continental Divide, this, that, and the other, and we wanted something a little different. And the name Great Divide popped as an option.
Can I ask you about some of the innovations that you've done? Because as you mentioned, you've been doing this for 20, 25 years. Mm-hmm. What are some of the innovations over the long stretch that you're especially proud of?
Well, about 12 years ago, we started making a fresh hop beer, and typically hops are brewed with pellets, which are dried hops.
Right.
Hops are harvested toward the end of the summer, but we were the first in Colorado to do a wet hop beer, which is take hops directly from the field, and they have a lot of moisture in them, and then we brew with them right there. And then we started barrel aging beers in probably 06, and we were kind of on the forefront of that, I think. And also some sours. So
back home in Iowa and Illinois, one of the stories that we love telling over and over again is how brewers, even though on paper they're competing, they collaborate a lot, and they are always looking out after each other.
Yep.
That there's not the sense of competition that you would have in similar industries. Is it like that out here in the mountains, or is it pretty cutthroat?
Oh no, it's truly collaborative. It really is. We one of the things we do here is we do about a 550-mile bike ride from Durango to Boulder,
What?
or Boulder to Durango.
What?
But just with other breweries. So there's 15, 18 of us that do that, and it's really interesting. We meet people all the way, and we're like, we're in the telecom business, and we would never do that with
Right.
Verizon and AT&T.
Right. It's good.
Yeah,
to
it's
hear.
really unique.
Good to hear that it happens here.
It's very unique.
Last question: 2020 and beyond. What can we expect?
Lots of seltzer, lots of innovation.
Right.
So consumers really like new beers, and so we need to constantly innovate, constantly come out with new things. Seltzers are a big thing right now.
Is it helpful when you have a beer like Yeti that is so versatile and you can do so many different things to it? So you're not constantly coming up with something brand new, but
Yeah.
you're kind of tweaking something you know people already love.
Well, it's one of the things we do, but it's the only beer that we've got where we do varietals.
Right.
Otherwise, we come out with completely new beers.
Right.
So,
But Yeti is the one that you can play with a lot.
Exactly,
And
yep.
you can kind of, it's kind of like
that's right.
clay that you can mold
Yep.
depending on what tastes are or whatever
Exactly.
whimsy you guys
Yeah,
have.
but otherwise, I mean, we come out with 10 to 15 new beers a year.
Right.
And typically, they're just completely new beers.
So if you come out with 15 beers in a year, how many stick around forever?
I bet 3 of them tend to become year-round beers.
Do they tend to be the 3 beers that on paper you thought were going to work?
No, we never know.
Right.
We never know. It's whatever resonates with people, and it's hard to know.
That's beautiful.
Until you get it out there, we don't know.
Well, listen, we're lucky enough that the Great Divide is something we can drink at home. I mean, where you're watching this, you can drink it. So you drink it there, and we'll drink it here in Colorado while we're here. Brian, can't thank you enough
Very
for the
nice
time.
to meet you.
Thanks so much.
for visiting.
Well, I've been doing this for over 40 years, so hopefully I'll still be around for another 5 or 10 to sort of enjoy what we've created in the brewing industry, and being able to still have fun making beer and visiting with nice people like you.